Scattered in small groups from Senegal to Lake Chad in Africa's western Sudan live the nomadic Fulani. As a minority of light-skinned people in a Negro land, and with their own language, they have long attracted attention. It is not possible to establish precisely the date at which the eastward migration from Senegal began. However, it is known they were in what is now northwest Nigeria as early as the 13th century, and the first penetration among the Hausa was gradual and peaceful. Through the ages, they have been noted as a people who consider cattle to be among the most prized possessions of man. At whatever point a conversation begins today, it will inevitably return to the same subject, cattle. In a harsh environment, alternating annually between torrential rains and grinding drought, herdsmen must withstand hardship. Without complaint, they lie upon simple sleeping mats with or without shelter. And when they do build shelters, they are of the minimum elegance required to divert the rain. Here they conjure their dreams of success, their desire for countless cattle, and a large family upon which to bestow them. Spouses make strong demands of each other as they work in their separate spheres. An efficient household, they reason, leads to the development of a large herd. From a large herd comes status and the best form of security they know. Though men might work together, they are not selfless. As the proverb goes, if your brother's beard catches fire, go home and put some water on your own. Cattle are tended with great care. They are like heirlooms from Fulani ancestors, and they are held in trust for unborn generations. A common proverb is, if the cattle die, the Fulani will die. Cattle surpass all things. They are even greater than one's father and mother. What is better, they will say, than to sit in the cool of the evening and to smell the cattle and their manure? Goats are often owned so that should a money crisis arise, a cow will not have to be sold. Fulani believe in obedience to their inherited traditions and in moral and physical control. Their forebears taught them the correct way of life, and it is the duty of living nomads to exercise the necessary control to perpetuate the traditions. The only way in which they should compete with their ancestors is to have more cattle and more children. So even sexual activity should be practiced with earnestness and with reproduction as its main objective. Fulani practice a sharp division of labor. They say huts are the property of women and cattle are the property of men. Since cattle are foremost in the system and the men own them, men hold a position of authority. They demand an efficient, cheerful, and obedient wife. Women, for their part, desire a man who has many cattle, is physically tough, yet considerate. To a woman, her first duty and desire is to have as many children as possible. Just after the onset of puberty, she marries, but society grants her only limited status until she has children. When a child does arrive, it is constantly in contact with its mother. It nestles beside her when she sleeps, and is swaddled when she works, be it pounding corn, cooking, or carrying water. In building a camp, the location and supply of water is one of the first considerations. Although the government windmill needs repair, the burden of drawing and carrying water is lightened by lively female companionship. In the wet season, abundant and succulent grass allows the herdsmen to build large encampments, perhaps up to 30 huts. Here they may live for several months. Since they have ample food, spirits are at their highest, and the young dance to the beat of professional Hausa musicians. The Fulani economy could not exist were it not for their dependence upon the many Hausa markets of northwest Nigeria. Periodically, they must sell their preferably old cattle. Several times a week, a housewife will sell milk and butter in the market. She will buy corn, salt, and clothing for her family. As at the well, she will enjoy visiting with other women to gossip and compare her married life with theirs. Should a woman's lot be worse than that of other women, her husband will be the first to know. If he refuses to listen, she may seek a divorce and marry elsewhere. In the market, herdsmen gain information vital to their nomadic regime. Fellow pastoralists tell them the whereabouts of cattle diseases, favorable pastures, water supplies, and the news of their scattered kin and friends. As they say, it is nice to go to the market and hear news of the world. On Friday, the Sabbath of Muslims, Fulani and Hausa men attend the mosque for prayers. Having many cattle may bring satisfaction in this life. Obedience to Allah may bring paradise in the next. Dressed in white, they leave the market in response to the prayer caller. The Savannah orchard bush in the wet season. For 30 generations, the nomads have lived and traveled over this land. Late in the wet season, when there is much mud and many flies, they move northward toward the Sahara. Then, as grazing progressively deteriorates in the dry season, they move southward to the banks of the Niger, a zone of heavier rain. For several months in every year, herdsmen have hunger, thirst, and heat as constant companions. Yet they envy no one, least of all people unfortunate enough to have no cattle, nor to have inherited the Fulani way. Just as they believe in strict moral control, they believe in strong physical control. A Fulani should move aesthetically, be handsome, and in all ways his mind should dominate his body. In a beating game they call Soro, Fulani demonstrate how they have made a special virtue out of toughness. Soro is not unlike mastigaphoria practiced by the Spartans in the 6th and 5th centuries BC, when through formal flogging, attempts were made to inure youths to pain. All nomadic Fulani young men voluntarily undergo Soro at least once before full maturity.
Alfere Allah an ka zo ina aikin ka gidan su gare mai gida ka dajin tsoro abinda zalin lura sheka lafiya mutum shi mai shi masoyi alfere Allah an ka zo ina aikin ka gidan su ibe dogoma filani dogoma tsayin kashi arme gonga gaskiya ina laifinki alfere Allah an gara batana yankane su dole jabbi masu togalar.
In this game, the volunteer is struck on his right pectoral muscle with a hardwood club. Before his beating, he will chant in self-praise of his bravery and of the achievements of his young life. He will chant of his strength and his ability to make quick decisions. In order to spur volunteers to come forward, older men who have been beaten years ago enter the circle. They shout words of encouragement or derision of the young according to their moods. Spectators place pennies or shillings on the perspiring foreheads of the contestants. Soro attracts so many viewers that police are needed to keep the crowd clear of the contestants. When he is struck, the youth will show no pain. Separated by an interval of about 3 minutes, he is beaten twice on the identical spot by his closest friend. He may hold up a mirror to check that his expression is constant. He will taunt his friend by saying, "You are a weakling. You have not struck me hard enough." Fulani girls are always in attendance to admire the fortitude of their potential suitors. The young men show that they can stand the equivalent of the pain of childbirth. And since the game is usually held in the marketplace, the Hausa can view the fiber of the Fulani, with whom there is some ethnic conflict.